This launch strategy that I'm going to share today is exactly what I actually did once. And well, I did it many times, but the last time I did it, it led to making $250,000 in that launch. Plus, I have subsequently gone on to make so much more. And I'll share a bit more about that because I still make money from that launch. Plus, this method has guided my clients to make their own 10K, 30K, 50K, and even 100K launches, right? And the reason I mention the 10K successes too is because seriously, your first 10K is often the hardest, right? Once you've done that, once you've made that 10K from a launch, then it just gets so much easier. So let me know. I want to know this. Please play along, right? Participate on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being impossible and 10 being absolutely hell yes possible. How confident do you feel about pulling off a 30K launch? Let me know, gorgeous ladies. Let me know. Share your number in the comments. There is no judgment, I promise. It's really good to be aware of your own internal thermostat, right? And please be honest with yourself, right? It doesn't matter about me. The biggest limitation you face is the limitation of your mind. Thank you for your honesty, ladies, truly. That is your biggest limitation. It's the limitation of your mind. If you believe you can, you will. And if you believe you can't, you won't, right? I know that sounds so simple, and it's the truth. Yeah. There's only so much I can teach in an 1 hour session, but I really invite you to ask me anything. I am giving you permission to ask me anything, right? Because that's how you're going to get value out of this free training, this masterclass, right? And for full transparency, because that's who I am and that's what I'm a stand for, on the 1st of September, I am going to be walking a group of women, guiding them through my 30K in 30 days strategy, day by day, step by step, right? I'm going to go through the launch strategy. But today, I'm going to give you as much information as I can in an hour. But if you ask me for more anything, you will get the answers. So it's on you, right? You've got to lead yourself and ask me the questions. And if by chance I miss something, I will come back personally and I will answer every single question, right? Because this is how you will skyrocket your business. So if you'd like to find out more, hang on till the end. I will share a little bit more about my actual paid offer as well. But if you're ready, drop a ready in the comments and I will send you the link in the DMs, and the transformation can begin from that moment. Now, like I said, I'll share a little bit more about it at the end. But before I get into this training, for those of you who may be new in my world, I just want to super quickly introduce myself. My name is Anne Ryan. I'm a business mentor. I'm a money mindset coach. I specialize in helping coaches, consultants, and service providers to package and position their expertise, right? Their expertise and their value into high ticket offers that are so good, they practically sell themselves. I show my clients how to accelerate their authority so they can take their prospects from cold to loyal clients, right? Really fast. And I help them to implement a predictable, reliable, organic client attraction strategy for consistent monthly income. And the work I love to do the most, which I focus alongside all the strategic work. I am a very highly strategic business coach, but the work that I love is the identity work, right? The identity work of who you are being as you create the life and business that you absolutely love, right? And in recognition of that is how, I'm so passionate about this conscious millionaires movement that I'm creating. This movement is all about empowering you to embrace your true potential. Every single one of you has got so much untapped potential, right? And to transform your mindset and energetics into this conscious millionaires who is already inside of you, right? Now, I'm not going to go into that in much more detail, but before we dive into the steps of the launch strategy, right, let's talk about something that often holds us back: inaction and comfort. Many people settle for mediocre results in life and in business because it feels safe. It's comfortable, right? They think it's better than nothing, you know, and they become comfortable in their day-to-day routine. Life and business is good, right? I'm guessing it's good. So why not just be grateful? Isn't that what we've all been taught? Let's just be grateful for the good life that we have. Why strive for greatness? Why strive for more? Gorgeous ladies, there's nothing wrong with good. There's nothing wrong with being incredibly grateful for everything that we already have today, right? But let me tell you, comfort is the enemy of growth and true impact. True impact. If you are here, you want more. Life is short, and some of us know that we are meant to be, do, and have so much more, right? And today, with the internet, right, we have a global audience at our fingertips. It has never been easier, right? It has never been easier. We have the privilege, we have so much privilege to create a movement for something that we really stand for, to leave a legacy and build generational wealth. More than just make money. This is way more than just making money, right? But nothing will happen if we don't make it happen. We have to stop letting ourselves down, right? That's what happens. We let ourselves down because we don't follow the dream. We don't fully commit to our desires. Yeah. So let me ask you a really important question. Another really important question. And please participate. Please be honest, even when you're watching the replay. When was the last time someone said to you, you've changed? You've really changed. And it doesn't matter the tone of voice that they used, but when was the last time someone said that to you? If it wasn't recently, then you're playing small. We don't want to be the same version we've always been, no matter what age we are. I've changed from the person I was yesterday. We want to evolve into a new version of ourselves that we can barely recognize. Awesome. Awesome, Geneva, right? We want people to see that we've changed. We don't want to be the same person. What's wrong? There's this kind of like, oh, you've changed. It like some people can kind of put a negative spin on that. I damn well hope I've changed. Yes. I've certainly changed since 2018 when I started this business, and some of you have been following me since. I hope you have noticed how much I've changed. Because of course I've evolved. Think about who you'd be by the end of 2024 if you took big, decisive action instead of overthinking every single move. The key to my success, ladies, has been taking bold moves, bold steps, brave moves, getting bogged down in analysis paralysis is a thing of my past. I've been there. I still have moments of it. Sometimes big decisions come up. Yeah. But when it comes to business, it has to be about moving forward with confidence, with commitment, even if it feels uncomfortable every single freaking day, right? Trusting in yourself that you'll figure it out. Everything is figure outable, right? You'll figure it out. And I'm here to say, you can do this. You can do this with or without investing in coaches, right? So I promise you, this little pep talk that I'm giving you now is not just about, you've got to work with me, you've got to invest with me if you don't want to fail. That's not what I'm saying, right? Bet on yourself. Take the freaking action. You can create the impact and the income you truly desire, but it requires action, right? And even if one of you gorgeous ladies is listening to me and going, "And I take so much action. Let's take more." And this does not mean hustling, right? This does not mean hustling. This means making bigger moves, braver moves, bolder moves. I invite you to step up your game, right? With me. I'm on this journey with you, right? So this 30K in 30 days launch strategy is part of your map to take you from where you are to where you want to be, right? But you have to take the steps to get there. I can show you the way. I can tell you what to do, but you have to take the steps to get there, right? Just because this is a free training, and you just go spend an hour with me, yay, thank you. I'm grateful for that. I appreciate you, but don't waste this hour, right? All right, so let's dive into this training. As you can tell, the sunshine's got me all fired up, right, and excited for this. And I love this. This has been such a game changer for me, this strategy itself. And it has truly been the thing that has helped so many of my clients as well, right? Imagine growing your business is like going on a road trip, right, to a place you've never been to, without a clear roadmap, without a schedule. You could end up off course, wasting time, wasting resources, wasting fuel, right? So a well-defined launch strategy is like having a detailed itinerary for your journey. It guides you, right? You've got to have a plan for a launch to be successful, right? You've got to have a plan that keeps you on track and ensures you reach your destination in the most efficient way. And you stay the course, right? Just as you'll get to your end destination on your road trip with, the right navigation and avoiding delays and detours, your launch needs to clearly map out a plan, right? This is a little bit also like cooking, right? I'm going to use another analogy. It's like baking a cake. The issue with baking a cake or going on this journey, right, is when you go off track, when you start questioning whether the cake is definitely, going to bake, and you keep opening the oven and you keep letting the heat out, right? Launches can be incredibly powerful and successful, right? It can truly propel your business. Yeah. And in between launches, you can do so much to set yourself up for the next launch to happen as well, right? Like some people literally do one launch a year that sets them up for the entire year. Marie Forleo, B School, you may have heard it. She literally does one launch a year, or she used to. I haven't followed her in a while, right? Launches can be incredibly effective. But obviously, when you do that big one launch a year kind of model, then there's a lot riding on it. She spends gazillions on Facebook ads and so on to make that happen, right? Because all of her annual income comes in that one launch. What I'm talking about here is a lot more low key, a lot less stressful, and you can decide on the frequency of your launch, right? To an extent, when I do these Facebook Lives, they're like super mini launches for me. Everything that I teach in the launch strategy becomes condensed, and I do it, you know, at a much more frequent sort of pace. Yeah, it's just a lot more like low key. So we can have really low stress, low overwhelm launches. But the first time you do anything is going to feel, harder. Yeah. You don't need a big audience to build a multi six or seven figure business if you're selling high ticket offers, right? Scaling your business requires focusing on, a few key areas, right? And I'm going to be talking about this as I explain the launch. Hello, Jacelyn. So good to see you. It's been a long, long time. Um, you're not a fan of her, Maria? Yeah, look, I used to follow her a long time ago, and I haven't actually followed her at all recently, probably, I don't know, 5 years or so. But yeah, that was her launch. But there are many others that do it too. Denise Duffield Thomas, who's one of Marie Forleo's clients from years ago, I imagine. She follows that strategy too. Launching does not have to be that stressful. It can be really, really, low stress. My client Fiona made $60,000 from her first launch with a tiny audience, right? Now, full disclaimer, when I share about Fiona, I always add this. Due to being a single mom and with other commitments that she had going on at the time, she did her launch over 6 weeks instead of 4, right? But would you agree? Would you be disappointed that she made 60K, if you made 30K and it took 6 weeks instead of 4 weeks, would that be an issue? I'm guessing not, right? What if you could make 50K in 30 days? Right? Because Lisa and Riley were able to do that. Or 100K in 30 days. Haley and Sarah were able to do that. These are all testimonials, right? These are all achievements from my clients, all following this launch strategy. Okay, you may want to get a pen and paper, right? Because and feel free to ask me questions, and I do apologize if I miss anything, right? I promise you I will come back and answer as well. And you might want to watch this part again. The first thing I suggest is you just need to pick a date, right? I can launch typically in about 2 weeks. I can even launch in a week, but a good launch, I'd allow 2 weeks, yeah, minimum. But I recommend for the first time, give yourself that 4-week window. Pick a date, pick a time for when you are going to kind of do this launch, right? This is when you'll deliver. The launch is when you'll deliver something of value. It could be a training, it could be a challenge, different people do different things. And on the back of that launch is when you will start promoting and selling your offer, right? So you want to make sure that the thing of value really aligns and links to the offer that you're selling. There's a definite kind of thread between the two, right? So it's not two completely random things that don't make sense. Tell me in the comments, have you done a launch in your business? How did it go? Hi, Karen. Good to see you. How did your launch go? Have you ever done a launch, right? So once you've pick that date. You've got to work backwards from that date. So set that date out, let's say 4 weeks from now, and you've got to start building your audience, right? I'm assuming that you've already got some audience, but even if you didn't, even if you're pivoting and you've got sort of something new for a new audience, then you've got to start building that audience. The more you're pivoting, the more you've got to build your audience, the more time I would definitely factor in, right? I would allow a little bit longer for this initial thing, right? And get really clear on what it is that you're going to be selling at the end, what it is your free training is going to be, and then start creating and sharing content immediately that is focused towards what it is that you are going to be selling later, right? This is what I would recommend. Now, the first 2 weeks, so I typically, in the 4-week model that I teach, I typically allow that first week to be kind of a real clean up, get organized, get planned. What are you going to sell? What are you going to teach? All of that sort of happens. A lot of the planning happens in that first week, right? And building of the audience and all that kind of thing. In the next 2 weeks is when you'll be doing lead generation. So week 2 and 3 is when you are going to do lead generation every single freaking day, right? Lead generation, nothing else. Well, you can do other things, don't get me wrong, but that is your time to get as many people as possible to attend your launch. Yeah. I'll talk about how you can leverage your launch for years to come, but we want to have the most successful launch that we can, right? And we want to show up fully and we want to go all in. We don't want to be opening that oven 15 times. We want to trust our plan and take action, right? And as we're generating leads, ideally we should be connecting with them and just nurturing them, right? Not selling at this point. We can sell, but if we're really thinking about selling from the launch, then we want to be more so nurturing them. When you do this, your show up rates to your launch will be much higher, right? And you'll get people who are going to also be excited about what's coming, right? In week 4 is when you will deliver the training and invite the people on that training, on that challenge, whatever it is. I'll talk a bit more about that in a moment, into your sales conversations. Yeah. So for those of you who do decide to come and join me in my 30K in 30 days intensive, I will guide you day by day on what to focus on, so there's no confusion and it's super simple, right? I will literally tell you, today do this, tomorrow do, the next day, today do this. Yeah, it's mapped out and spelt out for you, right? I'll also be able to provide feedback on what's working, what's not working, what needs tweaking, how can you get a better result, all that kind of thing. The key though, gorgeous ladies, whether you do it with or without my help, right, you've got to take imperfect action, as that is the benchmark to improve from, right? We can't overthink this. Yeah, we've got to put out a lead generation post, and if it works, fantastic. If it doesn't work, we've got to tweak it, right? And we've got to do it again. Not get into our head, not overthink this. We've just got to take the action. Let me know if you have any questions about any of this. Would love to hear your favorite lead gen tactics. Awesome. Okay. Rivers, so lovely to see you. I hope I got your name right. How you got here into this group is likely, into this training is likely through a lead generation post. Yeah. I am the queen of lead gen. So I shared one post And I think I got 30 people who said yes to this training from one post. And that one post took me about 2 minutes to write because it was just a colored background post. Yeah. I shared another post in another group that I'm a member of, and I got about 40 leads from one post. And that is to a training that I did back in January. This is how I repurpose, right? This is how I repurpose and get people into my world. And then I'm really transparent of what it is that I'm doing here, right? I am nurturing you, gorgeous ladies, with value, with information, because, I can't work with absolutely everyone on this planet, and I'm here to have an impact, right? And for those of you who are in a position to invest and work with me closer, that's awesome. For others of you, if you can walk away with something that gives you a shift that helps you out, I'm still having an impact, and I'm making a difference on this planet, and that's what I'm here for, right? Hence the reason I'm like, ask freaking questions, engage, right? Don't just quietly watch, consume, waste an hour, and get on with your day. If you ask me a question, I will always answer it, right? So hooks are, to go a little bit further, Rivers, the hook that you use is the most important thing in your lead generation, right? And to get your hook right, it's called a hook, it's understanding what it is your clients want is the most important thing. Yeah. And then you kind of reverse engineer it, and you ask them in a question format, you know. So like, I think, I can't even remember what I did for this training. I think I did something like, I've created a training to share how to make 30K in 30 days with a small audience who wants access. So for my audience, I know that's incredibly compelling. Yeah. And I even went as to say with a small audience, or maybe I said without a large audience. I can't remember how I phrased it. Yeah. Because this strategy works, and with a small audience. And what I know is a lot of women out there, not just women, but I speak to women mostly. A lot of businesses out there, the biggest challenge that they have, or their biggest concern, is that they don't have an audience, they don't have enough leads, they need 50,000 followers before they can make $1 million. And that's bullshit. None of that is true. Right? None of that is true. So the key to lead generation and doing it well is to really understand what it is that your clients want, and then offer it to them, and that's how you generate leads. Let me know if you have any further questions on that. What is needed to be in place prior to starting your offer? Like, you've got to be really clear on, ideally, you've got to be really clear that you've got that first week to figure it out. But ideally, you have to know what you're selling and who you're selling it to, right? The more clarity you have on that from the get-go, the more successful your launch will be. So the reason why sometimes the very first launch isn't always the most successful launch is because there's a lot of learning curve stuff that happens in that first launch, right? We're not really clear on who we're speaking to. We're not really clear on what it is that we're offering. And in our lack of clarity, we can be a bit wishy-washy and vague, right? And when we're wishy-washy and vague, no one's going to buy. Yeah. We need to have certainty. Certainty sells, right? Hi, Gay. Good to see you. Hope you're feeling a lot better, because I remember having that DM conversation with you. You're recovering. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy to hear that. Awesome. I am so excited that some of you will be joining me next month to hang out for a whole month, every single day, right? I want to see you succeed. As a business coach, it is in my absolute best interest for my clients to succeed, right? I won't be a business coach for very long if I'm just a really good marketer, you know? You know what I'm saying? All right. So launching can be simple. It can be done with a small list. It can be done with a small audience. Start by generating leads, just like I invited you to this training. Yeah. Um, when you're in front of the right people, lead generation is the easiest thing, right? And this is where sometimes, if you're not in front of the right people, you might want to give yourself an extra week or two to get in front of the right people. But this does not mean delaying and putting this off. It just means like you've got to start now, right? You've got to start now building your audience, getting in front of the right people. And it can be as simple as, finding the right Facebook groups to go into. And I don't spend hours in other people's Facebook groups. I do not do that, right? But sometimes that's where our audience is, right? And I've shared this before quite openly. What we need to do is just send friend requests to people who we believe are our ideal, dream clients. And then we leave everything else up to attraction marketing. Yeah. So we build our audience with the right people. And then from that point forward, I don't send cold DMs. I don't do outreach. I don't do anything else. I just let my attraction marketing, my content do the work for me. Yeah. All right. If you have an email list, if you have, other networks, obviously leverage them, right, for your launch. Like, get yourself in front of them. So I do provide swipe files and templates for all of this as well, right? For the lead generation, for everything, to make it so much easier during this sort of this launch period. But if you just check out what I do what I teach. Right? You can figure it out that way if you prefer, right? So if you have an email list, tell your email list about this launch that's happening. If there are people, this is your opportunity to shout it from the rooftops and tell everybody you know, and even ask people you know to spread the word, right? You'd be surprised how much people are willing to support you if you actually ask for help. So your launch training can be anything. It can be, I would say, more than a 60-minute thing, but it could be like a 90-minute masterclass. It could be a 3 to 5 day, like 3 to 5 days, a really sweet spot for doing a very valuable training for a high ticket client to take them from cold to sold, right? Because over that period of time, you can really build that know, like, and trust. You can deliver a lot of value, and they can make a really sound buying decision because by that point, they have spent a decent amount of time with you, right? It's slightly different for me now because I have built a reputation over a few years. So I'm sort of keeping all different women at different stages in their business career in mind as I'm giving this sort of advice. I'm also always testing. I'm testing what works best. So, it does get easier and easier as well. And, you can also completely automate this, right? I touched on this earlier. So what I ended up doing from my last proper launch, which was like a 3-day launch, I used to do 5-day launches, and I did them every month back to back, right? At one point, because I just wanted to master them and get better at them. This is the thing, gorgeous ladies, right? If you want a $1 million business, a multi-million-dollar business, if you want to build a legacy, right? I promise you, you do not have to hustle, but you have to become a master at what you do, right? And that doesn't mean doing something once and then going, oh, that was really hard, that didn't work. Well, of course, the first time is going to be hard. And of course, the first time is not going to get you the absolute best results, right? So I don't do a lot of things. I do very few things, but what I do, I really kind of go into full embodiment, full mastery of it, right? So when I first started this strategy back in 2021, I did it, might have been 2020. No, I think it was 2021. Yeah, I did it for 6 months straight. Yeah. And then it's fair to say I was pretty tired, right? I was doing 5 day launches every single month for 6 months straight. And I was pretty tired. I was over it by that point. And I figured like I'd done pretty well. By the sixth one, I was super, super happy with it. And then I made that evergreen and I automated it. And so, I created a funnel so people could still access it and go through the same experience. And I continued to make sales, right? And that's how I've been doing it ever since. I'm still leveraging one from over 12 months ago. And that was a 3-day one. Yeah. It's the one that I offer in the welcome post inside of this Facebook group. If anyone wants it, I sort of say drop 5K if you want to access my 5K clients accelerator. I think that's what I think that's my most recent one, which is well over 12 months old. But I still leverage it. People still watch it. They reach out to me because there are call to action buttons that bring them straight into my DMs and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. How can I work with you?" Yeah. And so you don't have to launch forever and a day, but you've got to figure out this strategy so you get better at it and then you can do it as and when you choose. Right. So, so during the training, you create an experience that gives your clients a mini shift or a transformation. That is the key, right? They need to feel that mini shift or the transformation. And it's not just about teaching them something, it has to help them see what is possible when they work with you, right? And it's really important to create really compelling titles for each training as well. The marketing hooks, like I was saying earlier when I was talking about lead generation. These are all like little things that make a launch successful, right? These are the little nuances that that can really, really help. And if you did the 30K in 30 days intensive with me, then I'll also help you with what to cover on day 1, what to cover on day 2, what to cover on day 3, at a high level, sort of give you in order for your future clients to have that experience, to have that shift, right? And how to map out your trainings and stuff. And the messaging is really, it's the hook, right? The messaging is the part that does a lot of the selling as well. So you've got to really keep that in mind. This is my genius, gorgeous ladies, and sometimes I find it really hard to even explain it, because how do you explain it without actually, giving very specific? And it's not that I want to hold back. It's I don't even know how to explain it because it comes to me so easily. But I know how, when I'm working with a client on their business, it's so much easier to sort of give them examples and share specifics. But honestly, feel free to ask me any questions because I will do my best to make this clearer. All right, what else do I want to say? If you only have one offer, right? This is a really important thing, because for a long time, ladies, I had one offer. Until the start of this year, I only ever had one offer. Yeah. So when I was talking about doing those 6 months straight of month to month, back to back launches, I only had one offer. You can make one offer, you have to just keep offering it, right? You can rinse and repeat. Yeah. I am proof that you can reach 100K months with one offer. Yeah. At the end of the day, business is a numbers game. So, what I'd love to know, actually, let me ask you this question. Um, how many sales do you need to make, let's say, 30K? Let's just go with the title of my training to make 30K. How many sales will you need currently based on your offers? Yeah. Um, it's good to let the numbers excite you, right? And really motivate you. It's like, let's say you can generate 5 quality leads a day. I am going with low numbers, right? Because I don't want to, so then if we have high numbers, it's like magic. Yeah. Because high numbers are really, really possible. So let's say you can generate 5 quality leads a day and you do lead generation for 10 days. I was going to say 100 days. For 10 days straight. Yeah. You have then got 50 leads in front of you. All right. 6 sales. Awesome. Well, that's 5, So let's say you need 6 sales. You've got 50 leads and you need 6 sales. 5K a sale, right? You'll need to convert 1 in 8 people, right? Which is doable. But let's say you had a 10K offer. Let's say you can make your 5K offer into a VIP, into a more high proximity, high touch, intensive, whatever, right? And it was a 10K offer, you would need 3 clients. Yeah. You would need just 3 sales out of 50 people. Either way, right? You don't need a big audience, is the point. You just need the right people, is the most important thing. So does that sound easy or difficult when I put it like that? When you look at the numbers, does that sound like, okay, easy or difficult? Once you launch once, you can rinse and repeat too, right? I had people in that 6 months, when I did it 6 months straight, who would come to each launch over and over and over again. And I would often talk about the same thing, but each time they would get a slightly different experience. Some people came to 2 launches and then became a client. Some came to 6 launches and then became a client. Some people bought on the first launch. Yeah. Because we have different people in our audience as well who are at different levels, and it's how much we can activate them to take action as well that matters, right? Yeah. And I'm touched on this before. Yeah, it's easy, right? Once you know the numbers, that's the thing. And I'm going with really conservative low numbers too. The thing is, you can't expect to launch once and become a master, right? It's like you can't expect to just bake a cake once and it to be the best cake you have ever baked. Yeah. The more you bake, the better your baking gets, right? I'm not a baker, by the way. I'm such a bad cook, so I don't know why I'm even using the cooking analogies, but maybe it's because I am that person who keeps opening the oven and letting the heat out, and so that's why I know that it's and it's the same thing with launches. The biggest thing, the issue that I see with launches is that people lose their nerve. They lose faith before the end of the launch, and they lose energy, they lose interest, they don't show up fully. So rather than showing up fully, taking action fully, and really committing to getting the best possible result they can, halfway through the launch, they can go, oh, I don't want to be disappointed. This is the internal dialogue that happens with the monkey mind, right? I don't want to be disappointed, and so I won't fully show up. I'll just, I'm busy, life is happening. Oh my gosh, there's so much going on. I can't commit to this. And they start withdrawing. And they're the ones that don't succeed. Every single one of my clients who have gone in and done the work and taken the action have made at least $30,000 from their launches. Yeah. And like I was sort of saying at the beginning, if this is a strategy that you like to continue doing over and over again, you get lifetime access, by the way, to the trainings, so you can keep doing it over and over again. But even if you were to, just do it yourself, in between your launches, you continue to build momentum, you continue to build your audience, you continue to, nurture them and so on. And then you can do a lot of your selling during these big launch periods. It's up to you, right? Like I said, my model has shifted now, and I kind of do these mini launches. So for me, like when I come in here and do these trainings, it's like part of a mini launch that I'm doing. Yeah, it's low stress. I'm just doing 1 or 2 posts. I come in here, I deliver an incredible training in the DMs. I have amazing conversations with some of you who are ready to go, and we go and we start. Yeah. So, and also, like I said, if you create a great training and that you're really happy with, you can just automate it and use it like a lead magnet. So you don't have to keep launching over and over again. Yeah. And, just think about the numbers again, right? If you can just connect with 5 people a week, like really, truly, deeply connect with 5 people a week. I'm not even talking about 5 people a day. I'm talking 1 a day. Real connections. Using the same numbers, you could be constantly putting those 5 people through your funnel, right? With high ticket sales, it really is about building that sort of deeper connection as well, the real relationships from a place of service. Yeah. And the actual numbers ultimately will depend on your conversion rates. Some of you will convert so incredibly well, and you'll convert, 4 out of 5 potentially. And others might convert 1 out of 5, but then you continue to master the sales and you will improve on that as well. Launching can be seriously super laid back and easy if we allow it to be, right? Earning money, 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, does not have to be hard, ladies. Honestly, we make it. We put money on a pedestal, and it should not be there, right? It does not need to be on a pedestal. We just need 2 things: a really good offer, a really results-focused, high-ticket offer, and we need to get eyeballs, visibility on that offer. That is business. It is that simple, right? And we tweak and improve little things around it to make that better and better and better and better. How would you do this connection part? It could be through your content initially, Geneva. It could be in the DMs, So there are so many opportunities to open up conversations, right? So even if it is, offering a free training like this, like if I wanted to, I could have, I tend to now, because I'm very much relying on the stage I'm at in my business, I'm very much relying on my content to do a lot of the heavy lifting, right? And what I'm doing right now in this Facebook Live is content. Let's not misunderstand this, right? My content is doing the heavy lifting. So I'm talking to many of you at the same time, including you gorgeous ladies who are watching the replay. I'm talking to all of you at the same time, and I'm sharing a lot of value. I'm connecting with you. I'm offering to answer your questions. Drop your questions, even in the replay, drop your questions. I will personally come back and answer them. That is all part of the connection, you know. And then some of you will be in my DMs. I will continue to connect with you. I'll continue to nurture you. Yeah. Until the point when you're like, let's fucking go. Right? Let's do this, Anne. It happens, right? I'm not here to convince anyone. I don't want that. I want people who can lead themselves to make that decision for themselves. I want action takers. That's what, you know, I keep, if I am willing to work with absolutely everyone who wants a business, I could probably have I would have a very different business to what I have today. But I'm very selective as well about who I want to work with, because I want to spend time with women who are creating a ripple effect of change. I want this movement to be way bigger than me. Yeah. And so, yeah, connection can be LFG. Absolutely. Yeah. It can be in any way. Um, and when it comes to this launch, you could do it in so many different ways. You could have a launch on Zoom. You could have a launch inside of a little pop-up Facebook group. So if you've got a Facebook group, you could have it in there. If you don't have a Facebook group, you could just create a Facebook group just for the launch. You don't necessarily always have to have a Facebook group unless you like it and you want it, or you can do it in Zoom. You could even do this in like Telegram. Play to your strengths. So, Gorgeous Geneva, I know you love audio. You could create this experience in audio. Voxer, Telegram. For some reason, I'm swaying towards Telegram. Don't ask me why, but maybe Voxer could work just as effectively. Telegram allows you to there's some functionality in Telegram that Voxer doesn't have, I think. But I'm not a tech expert. So, that's just a thought. Yeah, and it's really about so you create the space, whatever your space is, generate leads, invite them into the space, warm them up, connect with them, nurture them, share a bit of value. And this is even before the training starts, right? Assuming that you've given yourself a good couple of weeks for the training. So you don't want people to say yes and then have to wait a whole 2 weeks before they get anything. So you want to sort of create a little bit of something in between as well. But it could be as simple as just connection, right? It could be as simple as, I have this free training you might want to watch, that kind of thing. It can be done in so many different ways. I need to know your specific situation to suggest some alternatives that work for you. And, and then you deliver this incredible training. You invite people to have conversations with you on sales calls or however you choose to sell. And then you start working with a whole bunch of amazing new clients, right? Once you have the framework, you can review it, improve it, repeat it as often as you choose. It can be monthly, it could be 6 monthly, it could be quarterly, whatever you decide, right? But having a simple structure and a simple system to follow will save you from all that overthinking and also feeling like that it doesn't work, because it works, right? It absolutely works. That's what I want to make very clear. This works. I'm not the inventor of this, this has worked for many, many, many people before me. Yeah. And after me. So that's my exact sort of launch strategy for making 30K in 30 days, or even 100K in 30 days, or any number in 30 days, right? And it really ultimately depends on your numbers, right? How many people you can get into this, what price point your offer is, your conversion rates, all of those little things can come obviously will come into play, right? And you can piece it all together. Honestly, gorgeous ladies, you can piece it all together. You can ask me questions here. I'm happy to answer questions. I want you all to be able to do this for yourselves. But if you would like a bit more support, if you'd like the accountability, if you'd like the feedback on what it is you're doing, how to tweak things, improve it, then come along, hang out with me. 1st of September, we start in the 30K in 30 days intensive. I will give you templates, swipe files, all the things. You get like literally daily instructions on what to focus on and checklists and all of that. So if you want to join me live, we start on the 1st of September. You will get lifetime access to all the trainings. The investment currently is $1,111, and it is an absolute steal, right? And it will be increasing to $2,222. I'm going with all the angel numbers on the 22nd of August, right? So you've got a few days, but the transformation will begin the moment you say yes. Right? This is what I want you to do. Just make a decision. If it's no, that's fine. If it's yes, let's fucking go. If you're ready for a 30K in 30 days then and want my support, just comment ready or send me a private message in the DMs, and I cannot wait. Yes, I did, Geneva, $1,111 for lifetime access. And if I make updates in the future, you still continue to get those updated versions as well. This is something I don't even make a big deal about. I don't kind of sell it, but when I say lifetime access, it's lifetime access. I am continuing to evolve and grow as a person. I keep improving things, shifting things, changing things, getting feedback from clients and making things better, and my clients get lifetime access to all of that too, to all the improvements that I make. So it's an absolute no-brainer. And I am going to leave it at that. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask me anything in the comments or even send me a private message. It has been so fun to hang out with you. Thank you for giving up an hour of your valuable time to be here with me. And I'm sorry if I missed your question. I will come back and answer every single one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all, and I will see you soon. Bye. Bye.